Ty with Ty the Dog Guy on the Daily, and I want to talk about dog trainers' sandboxes. Now, what I mean by that is every dog trainer that's been in the business for a bit is going to kind of create their sandbox. And what I mean by that is, if you have your own sandbox, you determine the rules of how people play, right? Maybe in this sandbox you only play with this type of toy, and in that sandbox you only play with that type of toy, and this sandbox has this rules. Now I'm talking about literal sandboxes. But with dog trainers, what I've found over the years is that there's always a lot of disagreement. I think you're going to find that in any skill-based profession. But there's often a lot of disagreement regarding here's what method you should use for this, and here's how you should look for this, and here's how you should do this. And certain dog trainers think, hey, this is the right way, and other dog trainers think, no, the other way is the right way. But here's what I've realized is that every way is the right way for that sandbox. So for example, if that dog trainer is putting together a type of result where the dogs act this way or perform that way or whatever, then the training that he or she puts together for that is more than likely correct for that. So let me give you an example. Oftentimes when we're training dogs, we want to train them that when they're indoors, they are calm and they're supervised and they're structured. And so that means that, at least during the beginning of training, a lot of dogs, we'll have them do down stays while we eat dinner, down stays while we watch TV, that they follow us around from room to room, stuff like that. As time goes on, that usually changes a little bit, and we're not quite so structured. But that's how we've set up our sandbox. That here's how we play. That when we're indoors, here's what it looks like. Now, other trainers might say, no, I want to have let the dogs have more freedom. So in my sandbox, we use doggy doors, so the dogs have the freedom to come and go. And in my sandbox, we do this, so that the dogs have the freedom to wander around the house or whatever. And neither of them is wrong, but one of them is more preferable to this dog owner, and another one might be more preferable to that dog owner. And so, same thing with, we can find the same thing all over the place. Walking. Some dog trainers, the way they set up their sandbox is they say, okay, when we go on walks, I want you walking right by my side the whole time. Other dog trainers in their sandbox, they've got a different set of rules that they play with. And that set of rules says, hey, you can be up ahead of me as long as you're not pulling. And then I've met some dog trainers who even allow the dogs to pull quite a bit. And so, again, none of these is necessarily wrong. It just means that the end result looks different depending on the trainer and the system that they've set up. So what I'm getting at is, as you're looking at trainers, scrutinizing trainers, thinking about who you might want to listen to, who you might want to help you with your dog, who might have good advice or whatever. Or maybe you're a trainer and you're trying to determine the path that you want to take or whatever. I've come to the realization that nobody's wrong. Everyone's just setting up a sandbox that looks differently. So this dog trainer's dogs being trained look like this, and this dog trainer's dogs, once they're trained, look like that. And so that's what you want to be looking for. The methods to get there are important, to understand, but really, what is the end result, and which trainer, which training program has created that sandbox that allows for that to occur?